Hi everyone, I'm finally back with another video. I'm so sorry that it took me so long to put another video up. I think it's been like a month or maybe over a month now. There is a reason, and then the reason just led to me being lazy and not making videos. So I'm actually going to be doing a video on it today. I'm sure the title is probably dramatic and whatever, but as you can see, my hair has been fixed and we'll get to how that happened. Yeah, so I have a little note card here just to keep me on track because I tend to get sidetracked very easily. And yeah, so let's get into the video. So as the title says, this is my hair disaster video. So around, I believe it was the end of January, it's kind of like right after my last few videos, I had scheduled a hair appointment. If you look back on my last one, I think it was like a vampy makeup look. My roots were pretty low down on my head and I wanted it fixed. And I was like, oh, I'll just get it. A lot was happening in my life that I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself to getting my hair done and really make it pretty and whatever. And I'm going to have photos throughout this to insert what happened. I do not have photos directly after because, well, you'll find out. Let's just get there. So I go in, I make a hair appointment, and it was like for a Thursday. And on that Wednesday, I received a phone call and it says, hey, and I knew as soon as I saw the phone call, I was like, oh geez, like they're not even confirming because we've already confirmed yesterday. So something's wrong. And she's like, hey, your stylist, he can't come in tomorrow. He would like to reschedule. And I was like, ugh. And this guy has like a month waiting list usually. So I'm like, I'm not waiting another month. And, but thankfully he was like, oh, I'll come in on a Sunday and just do it. And I was like, okay, no problem. So then I went on that Sunday and got my hair done. And he's really cool. Like he claims to be a balayage specialist. He does blondes all the time. That's why I go to him. I've had too many bad experiences with other stylists ruining my blonde hair, which is why I go back to brunette every single time. And you know, we're sitting there and you know what? I jinxed myself. I blame myself on jinxing myself here because we were sitting in the chair and I said, yeah, like I always get so nervous every single time I go to get my hair, like just bring a balayage up, something bad always happens. Like last time the lady had turned the top of my hair white and the bottom was like yellow. And, oh, that was horrible. But if I have a photo of that, I'll insert it, but I had to get that fixed, color correct it, and the lady literally just made my whole head white. And so I was like, okay, whatever. He's like joking around. And he's really good. Like you guys, he took me from brown to this color blonde. I'm gonna put it like over here in one shot last time. So he is a good stylist, but I don't know what happened. And so he's doing my hair or whatever. And last time I had left, I had left with kind of like grayish, blondish hair. It was actually really pretty gray. And I was like freaked out, but it all worked out. And you know, the toner just washed out of it and it was perfect. So he had toned my hair twice with this with purple toner, you know, whatever they use. And he you know, he wouldn't let me see my hair the whole time. He always does that. And then he turns you around at the end. And he had turned me around. And you guys, it's one of those moments when you know you just have to put, like I cannot do confrontation very well. Like I hate it. I will avoid it at all costs. So when I turned around and my hair looked, okay, how do I describe it? It was orangish. Like it looked, let's put it this way. It looked like it was orange from here to here, which is like kind of where the new roots would be. Like it's like up here would be the new root. So it was kind of like brassy. And then from here all the way down to my ends was gray. I wanted a warm toned color and I received gray and I was really upset. And so I tried scrubbing out the next night. I started like really trying to get it out of my hair. 2 weeks go by and it's still not out of my hair at all. Like it's now just like there's like a purple tint. I'll insert a photo. I'm sorry, I do not have a photo right when it happened because like, do you ever just feel so ugly? You're like, I cannot take a photo. That's exactly what happened to me. And I was like, this is not being documented. No. So, but then like afterwards you wish you had a photo of it. So this is what it looked like when I was calling them. It was, I don't know if the photo is really gonna show it. It had white streaks in it. it had colors like kind of like, not even, I can't even say this is like a beigey. It was like brassy streaks through it, and it had some like purpley gray left in it as well. So ugly. And I called him, was like, and I was trying not to be a pain. I don't want to offend anyone's work. Like, he worked on that. He's usually really, really good. So I didn't want to like bash on him and be like, oh my gosh, look at my hair. So I was just like, hi, like, I'm just wondering if there's anything I can do to try to get this out. Like, I use Dawn dish soap, which I know you shouldn't use on your hair, but like, I rather that can just take it out. So I did it. I was just using so many, like, just trying to get it out, like washing my hair as many times a day as I could. And my hair was so dry by this point. And she was like, oh, like, if it hasn't come out yet, it's probably not going to come out on its own. Which the joke of the story is, my friend had gray hair and she really wanted gray hair for like the longest time all over summer. And she had to get it done 3 times in like 3 weeks because it just washed out every single time. And I was like, go to him. Whatever he did, like, it stayed. Yeah, so they ended up making me an appointment. Once again, well, where I live, we get a lot of snow. There was a snowstorm the day that I was supposed to go in and get it fixed. So they get me a call and they're like, hey, like, he doesn't have an appointment for, you know, a couple weeks. And I'm like, I was like, so is there anyone else I can go with? And you would think, someone messed up my hair. You're gonna put me with someone good who can like get this stuff out? And she's like, okay, we're gonna put you in for a color removal or whatever the heck it's called. And then, you know, whatever, we're gonna give you to the stylist. She's really, really good with correcting colors too. Cause I told her, I was like, at this point, like, the parts that were probably supposed to be toned, what I assumed happened is he was bleaching my hair. The bottom of my hair was so much lighter than the top of my hair. So when you put the bleach on, in my opinion, I think you should probably put the bleach on here first and then brought it down, but I don't really know how, you know, hair works. And he had just put it all on at the same time. So of course this part's gonna be a lighter blonde, I guess you would say, than the bottom. I think, and then to fix what it looked like, he probably put 2 toners on, and then the bottom part of my hair absorbed it way more than the top part of my hair, because the, you know, cuticles and stuff were open. It probably just sucked it all in and wasn't gonna let it out because it was so over processed by that point. And so that's what I think happened. So I was just like, is there anything to do? She's like, no. So I had to come in, and they give me to this girl. And she's super, super sweet. And I show up and she was like, oh, like, your hair's not as bad as I thought. She's like, I think it's only gonna take 1 time to get it done. She's like, they scheduled you for 6 hours. And I was like, they scheduled me for what? And they're like, yeah, 6 hours to correct your color. And she's like, oh, it's just, we just have to get the color out. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Just take the toner out. And so like I said, I was there for a color remover. They said, we will put a color remover on your hair. I'm not stylist. I don't know what that looks like, but that's what I was told I was getting done. So we go over and she's like, I'm just gonna tone your hair. So what she attempted to do, and I can see this happening, however, I also see why I went wrong. She tried putting, she said she put warm 1, I think that's the highest, whatever the highest is, either 1 or I don't know, whatever the like warmest color is in hair terms, and copper on my hair to counteract what was happening, like the grayish purple. I told her, I was like, my hair looked gray and like, eh. And she was like, yeah, no, I get it. So she put that on. So she didn't remove color, she added stuff to it. So we walk over and she's like, and I'm like looking at my hair when she took the towel off. You guys, I want to cry. My hair looked, when you're trying to be blonde and you take something off someone's head and their hair is literally brown, I'm like, I just went from like white blonde to brown. What happened? And I told her, I was like, oh my gosh, my hair is brown. She's like, no, 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 this toner, like, she was like, people with white hair come out looking like that too. Like, this toner just looks that way. So, stylist, you guys can tell me down below if that's a thing. And she blows dries my hair. And now I'm like, you know when your heart just sinks because you're like, this, like, I knew in that moment, I was like, she can't fix this. She doesn't know how. And she was like, I like look at her, I go, oh my gosh. And she goes, what? I'm like, my hair is brown gray. Like, if there is like a slate brown color, if that's a crayon color, that is the color my hair was. Slate brown. It had gray undertones and it was brown. It was like almost darker than my natural tone. Like, that's my natural hair color. It literally looked so dark. And I was like, I go, oh my gosh. And I go, I'm like, can you just take this out? I go, I literally have brown hair right now. And I go, I just paid so much to be blonde. And she's like, oh yeah. Like, she was like, I don't know why that happened. And she's like, that usually works. And I'm like, I'm like, oh my gosh, my hair's so messed up that whatever usually works doesn't even work. And I'm starting to think that's not usually how things work. And she's like, I literally put copper on you and the highest warm color I can put on you. And I was like, and I told her, I was like, I think it just took the color in and like made everything darker. Like the fact that I'm offering a reason why is like sad. And she was like, oh my gosh. And then you know what? And then she turns around and says to me, and this is the funniest part of all of it. She turns and she goes, yeah, she didn't know I had gotten it done at that salon. And she goes, yeah, like whoever did this, like I don't even know what they used. So like they could have used like really bad products on you and that's why your hair is really messed up right now. And I was like, oh really? And okay, so at the salon they have a mirror and it's like one mirror on this side, one mirror on this side. I was on this side, the guy who did my hair on this side. Like, couldn't be more awkward because I was like, ugh, I'm walking in to get my hair fixed and you're literally on the other side of the mirror for me. And this girl couldn't even fix it. So then I literally said, I'm like, oh, it was him right over there. And she was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, you can ask him what he used. Like, maybe that would help. And she was like, oh, okay, I'll go ask him. And mind you, I told you, he's like the best stylist in this, supposedly the best stylist in this salon, especially for blondes. And I'm like, what are you saying? Like, I don't know what they use on your hair. Go ask him. And so she like walks over and like, I don't know if they talked or whatever. I honestly think she just walked away and then came back and she's like, different attitude. She goes, you know what? He's just such a good stylist that, you know, he does so many cool toned blondes that when you came in asking for a warm toned blonde, he probably just didn't know how to do it and like gave you a cool toned blonde because like usually it looks really good on people. If you're gonna call yourself a balayage specialist and a blonde specialist of some sort, like you better be able to do the entire range of hair colors. Like I feel like that's not the hardest part of being a stylist, is figuring out the difference between a cool toned and a warm tone. They're totally different toners, I am sure about it. So I was like, oh really? And she goes, whatever he put in your hair is like really good. Like she goes, if you want a cool tone blonde, like your hair would have definitely, like this is definitely what he should have done to you. And I was like, yeah, that's great, but like I don't want it. So what are we gonna do? And also like, why the heck is my hair 3 different colors? It's gray, brassy, and white. That doesn't sound like a cool tone blonde. That sounds like you messed up and didn't tell me. Like, okay, so after, you know, looking at it, it's like I said, slate brown. She goes back, she's like, we're gonna try something else. I'm gonna sink. So she ends up doing, I guess she told me afterwards, it was a like bleach bath with my hair to try to get that toner out. And then she toned it with something else. I don't really know what she did. At that point, I was just trying to get out of there. She's like, we can do this as many times as you want. I'm thinking, I think we need to stop after this because I walk over, she's blow drying it. I'm like, do I have red hair? Like orangey red hair? And she goes, no. It was dark out, so it was like nighttime, so it didn't have the natural light hitting it or anything like that. So she's like, it's just the overhead lights that you do that all the time. I was like, okay. And like I said, at this point, I kind of figured that was not gonna wash out. But I also was not gonna sit there and have her do my hair like 1,000 more times. So, sorry, I'm like, there you go. So I was just like, whatever. And she blows dries it, I leave. I left and I go home and I'm like, you know, you're talking to yourself, you're like, it's okay, it's really not that red. Like it's probably just me. I'll get over it in a few days, it's fine. Maybe I just always hate when my hair is that like, you're on a tangent to try to like justify things to yourself. Well, I get home, I walk in. The first thing my mom says is, why is your hair red? And I'm like, why did that just have to be said? Like, I already think it's red. I was trying to talk myself into it. And like, I literally start like crying because I'm like so mad. I spent so much money at this point. I'm so mad. And I call the salon and I'm like, hey, I just left. My hair is red, like actually red. And I'm going to insert the photo right here. My hair is red. And she was like, oh, I am so sorry. Like, I don't know how to help you. I was like, can I wash this out? Will this come out of my hair? Like, what's happening? She's like, well, you can try. Like, she's like, I'm not a stylist, so I don't really know. And like, all the stylists have really gone home for the night. And I'm like, that's great. So fast forward to the next day, I have really red hair. I'm upset. I call, thankfully it came out a bit. Like, I washed my hair right after and it kind of was coming out. So I make an appointment with a whole different salon. It's like there's like 2 really good salons in my area. Well, I'm gonna call them 2 really good salons. There's probably a lot of other ones, but 2 that are known for being like the nicest of the area. So I called that one. They're like, we'll get you in. And they got me in that next day. I walk in and the lady is so sweet. And she was just like, she's like, well, she asked me first, she's like, what don't you like about your hair? I said, it's, because at that point, instead of being red, it took on a green tone. And I was like, it seems green. There's still some kind of cool tone in it. I go, I don't really know what's happening. And she's like, no, I see that. She's like, I could definitely see the green tint. She goes, you're right. There, for some reason, she goes, it looks like your hair's copper, but you have like gray undertones. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, did they use a color remover? Because I told them what happened. And she's like, I'm like, no, they were supposed to. And when I asked, so I forgot to leave that. When I asked about the color remover, she goes, oh, I'm sorry, we're out. If someone's coming in for a color removing appointment, wouldn't you cancel if you don't have color remover? Like, it's dumb. Or like, go out and get some. Like, keep inventory. It's not that hard. So they, she ends up doing a color remover on my hair. My hair was like my nice, like really, really bright blonde. It was like a really yellowy blonde though, so she had to tone it a bit. And I told her I wanted to keep it, you know, warm tone, but like, I don't want like brassy hair, you know, or whatever. I wanted the color that it was, but she didn't want to do another bleach. She didn't want to touch it. She literally was so scared to even do anything. She goes, your hair's so dry. And it wasn't thankfully chemically dry. It was just dry because of washing it so much that my roots, so you see how cool toned my roots are? My natural hair has no warmth to it. I'm very, like a very cool toned hair. And, or ashy hair, is that what we call it? Ashy hair. And she was like, she was, I guess like toners have a little bit of bleach in them, which usually won't alter your natural hair color. But since I was toned like 4 or 5 times in a span of like 2.5 weeks, she was like, I think, like, not I think, my roots, and that was what was really, I guess, showing red. It was my roots had turned orange. And just because she had lifted my root probably like a shade or 2, and a shade or 2 is not blonde with brown hair, it's orange. So it was horrible. So I had orange roots, like literally when you, okay, so you can see how like it right here is like brown, that would just be orange. Also she like said through my hair, there's like some pieces that like aren't even bleached. And I was like, oh great, like a 90s highlight. I was like, oh, thanks. It's horrible, but she did like a good job. Like, this is not what I was wanting in the beginning. Like, at this point, I'll take it. Like, thank you for making me look like a normal person. But this is not what I was going for. I'm going to show you what my hair was when I got done last time. That is what I wanted. Again, like, I had the hair color. I knew, like, I know I could go back to that color because obviously my hair was bleached to that tone, but at least once. And I'm gonna go back in the summer and get that done, but I was like, I need to give my hair like a 2-month, 3-month rest. And like, when it gets warm and sunny out again, I'm sure like my hair will just naturally lighten. So I'm not too worried, but yeah, so that was my hair horror story. I know it's not too crazy, but I'm just, I spent a lot of money. And when I went to that last one, I had to pay full price again because it was a whole new stylist. And you know, somebody might be like, why didn't you go back to the other place? I didn't trust that they knew how to do it. If your 2 best stylists could, the zinger of it all. So when I went to go, when I was leaving or whatever, I like looked and they have like everyone's names, like the stylist names on these, on this board. I saw that they had given me a junior stylist to fix my hair. Mind you, I'm sure junior stylists are amazing. But guess what? You messed up my hair once. Wouldn't you give me to someone who really knows what they're doing? Not a junior stylist. She clearly didn't know what to do. That's why when I found out later, and the girl was like, this is so, the girl who fixed my hair, she was like, this is so easy. She's like, why couldn't they fix it? She goes, it literally took like an hour max with blow drying my hair and toning and whatever. I'm definitely gonna be going to the other salon from now on. I trust them a lot more. They're really sweet, and the other one's kind of like stuck up and everything like that. So I prefer to go to them anyways. So, but anyways, I got a call like a week later from the owner of the original salon, and she was like, I'll give you a discount, I'll have it there for like a spa, so I'll just use the money on that. But other than that, no, I'm not getting my hair touched there again because I do not trust any of them to touch my hair. Because I feel like everyone was just covering up for one another, and I don't think that was okay. But yeah. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's not too crazy, like I don't have like my hair chopped off or whatever, but It was annoying, and I was like waiting all that time to film videos for you guys. I really enjoy this. It's very therapeutic for me. But yeah, so I will talk to you guys in my next video, and I hope you all have an amazing day. Bye.